The smell hits you first. It is that sharp, sour tang of something that was once sweet turning against itself. You open the refrigerator door, hoping for a quick snack or the ingredients for tonight's dinner, and there it sits. A bag of spinach that has turned into a slimy, dark green sludge at the bottom of the crisper. A carton of berries where half of them are covered in fuzzy gray mold, leaking their juice onto the ones below. You pick up an avocado that feels like a rock one day and turns to mush the next, never hitting that perfect window of ripeness. You look at the receipt from last week, and you feel that small, heavy knot in your stomach. That is not just food going bad. That is your hard-earned money rotting away. That is the labor of your hands, traded for hours at your job, literally dissolving into the trash bin. It feels like a failure, doesn't it? You think to yourself that you should have been smarter, you should have eaten it sooner, you should have checked it better. But I'm here to tell you that this guilt is misplaced. The failure is not yours. The modern world has forgotten the old way. We have been taught to buy with our eyes, dazzled by bright lights and waxed skins, but we have lost the ability to buy with our hands and our noses. We have been disconnected from the source of our food, treated as consumers rather than stewards. By the end of this time together, you will not just have a list of tips, you will have the verified rules, handed down through generations of farmers who could not afford waste, combined with the real science of how plants live and breathe. You will learn to see what the grocery store tries to hide. You will learn to never fail at this again. I am Isaac Beiler, and I keep house and farm here in Lancaster County the way it was handed down to me before the world got so fast. My hands are rough from the soil, and my knowledge is plain, but it is true. I do not speak in riddles, and I do not sell you dreams. I share what works. If you value this kind of plain, practical know-how that the world is trying to bury, I would ask you to subscribe to this channel. It helps us keep these old traditions alive for the next generation. It tells the algorithm that there are still people who care about truth over trends. Now, one honest word so you trust me. These rules will not make you a magician. You will still have bad apples sometimes. Nature is wild, and even the best farmer cannot control every variable. But you will stop throwing away half your grocery bill. You will stop being fooled by the shine on the surface. You will gain a confidence in your kitchen that no supermarket can take away from you. You must understand why things are the way they are. The modern grocery chain is not designed to feed you. It is designed to move product. Big brands and large distributors profit from your lack of knowledge. They rely on the fact that you are in a hurry. They rely on the fact that you do not know the difference between a fruit that was picked too early and one that was picked at peak sweetness. The system runs itself on waste. They overstock shelves to create the illusion of abundance. They package foods in ways that hide decay until you get home. They use gases and waxes to pause the clock, but they cannot stop it. When you throw away that spoiled food, they have already made their money. Your loss is their business model. But plain knowledge costs only pocket change. It costs nothing to look. It costs nothing to touch. It costs nothing to know that a heavy fruit is a juicy fruit. This knowledge is a shield. It protects your wallet and your health. When you learn to select food with intention, you break the cycle. You stop being a passive consumer and start being an active participant in your own nourishment. You begin to see the grocery store not as a place of magic abundance, but as a warehouse of biological materials that require your wisdom to unlock their value. Let us walk through the aisles together, and I will show you the 10 foods that demand your attention before they enter your cart. First, let us talk about leafy greens, specifically spinach and lettuce. Do not just grab the bag because it is convenient. Look at the bottom of the container. If you see any moisture, any condensation, or any slimy residue, put it back. Moisture is the enemy of leaves. It breeds bacteria and accelerates rot. The scientific reason is simple. Plants continue to respire after they are harvested. They breathe. If they are trapped in a wet, sealed environment, they suffocate and decay. You want leaves that are crisp, dry, and vibrant. Feel the bag. It should feel light and airy, not dense and matted. In the old days, we called this field freshness. If the leaves are already wilting in the store, they will be slime in your fridge within 2 days. Always check the stem ends. If they are brown or black, The plant is dying. Green stems mean life. Second, consider the berry family: strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. These are delicate souls. Never buy a container where the berries are packed tight against each other without airspace. Turn the container over, look at the bottom. If you see crushed juice or broken skins, walk away. One moldy berry will infect the entire cluster within 24 hours. This is not just folklore, it is mycology. Mold spores travel easily in moist, sugary environments. You want berries that are firm and dry. For strawberries, look for the cap. It should be green and fresh, not brown and wilted. The cap is the seal of the fruit. If the cap is dead, the fruit is old. For blueberries, look for the bloom. That dusty white coating is natural and protective. If the berries are shiny and wet-looking, they have been washed or handled too much, and they will rot faster. Trust the dust. Third, let us speak of avocados. This is the most misunderstood fruit in the modern market. Do not squeeze them aggressively in the store. You bruise the flesh inside. Instead, look at the color in the stem. For Hass avocados, you want a dark, pebbly skin, but not black and shriveled. Pop the small stem button off the top. If it comes off easily and you see green underneath, it is good. If it is brown underneath, it is overripe and likely rotten inside. If the stem does not come off, it is underripe and will never soften properly. The science here is about ethylene gas. Avocados ripen from the inside out. The stem area is the last to ripen. If the stem area is brown, the decay has started from the core. We call this heart rot. It is invisible from the outside until you cut it open. Save your knife and your heartache. Check the stem. Fourth, bananas. Most people buy bananas based on color alone, but you must look at the separation. Buy bananas that are still attached at the crown, but check the individual stems. If the stems are splitting or blackening significantly, the fruit is overmature. More importantly, look for small brown spots on the yellow skin. These are not defects, they are sugar spots. They indicate that the starches have converted to sugars. However, if the spots are large and black, the fruit is beginning to ferment. For immediate eating, choose yellow with small spots. For later in the week, choose green-yellow. The horticultural truth is that bananas are climacteric fruits, meaning they continue to ripen rapidly after harvest. They produce their own ethylene gas. If you buy them already spotted, you have hours, not days. Plan accordingly. Fifth, tomatoes. Never, ever buy refrigerated tomatoes. If they are in a cold case, they are already dead. Cold temperatures destroy the cell walls of tomatoes, turning their texture mealy and killing their flavor compounds. You want tomatoes that are at room temperature. Pick them up. They should feel heavy for their size. Weight equals water content, and water equals juice. Smell the stem end. A ripe tomato should smell like earth and sunshine. If it has no scent, it has no flavor. Look for smooth skin, free of cracks. Cracks are entry points for bacteria. In the old markets, we looked for the shoulder of the tomato. It should be firm, not soft. A soft shoulder means the interior is breaking down. Do not be fooled by perfect redness. Uniform redness often means it was picked green and gassed to turn red. Uneven color often means it ripened on the vine, which is where the flavor lives. Sixth, melons, specifically watermelons and cantaloupes. This is a test of weight and sound. Pick up the watermelon. It should feel heavier than it looks. Density is key. Then, look for the field spot. This is the creamy yellow patch where the melon sat on the ground. If the spot is white or non-existent, it was picked too early. If it is a deep, creamy yellow, it sat on the vine long enough to develop sugar. Tap it. You want a deep, hollow thud, not a high-pitched ping. The ping means it is dense and unripe. The thud means the flesh is crisp and full of water. For cantaloupes, smell the blossom end. It should smell sweet and musky. If it smells like nothing, it tastes like nothing. Check the netting on the skin. It should be raised and rough, not flat. Raised netting indicates proper growth and sugar development. Seventh, apples. Do not be fooled by the wax. That shine is often just cosmetic. Press your thumb gently into the apple. It should be hard and resistant. If it gives slightly, it is mealy inside. Mealy apples are old apples. Their cellular structure has broken down. Look for uniformity in color, but also look for lenticels. These are the small dots on the skin. They should be small and tight. Large raised lenticels can indicate age or poor storage. Smell the apple. It should have a faint, fresh aroma. If it smells musty, it has been stored too long in controlled atmosphere rooms. We used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but only if the apple is alive. A mealy apple is just wet cardboard. Choose hardness, choose weight, choose scent. 8th, citrus fruits like oranges and lemons. Squeeze them gently. They should feel firm and heavy. Light citrus is dry citrus. The skin should be thin and tight against the flesh. If the skin is puffy or separates easily from the fruit, it is old. This is called puffing. It happens when the fruit loses moisture and the rind shrinks away from the segments. Look for smooth skin. Rough, thick skin often means less juice and more pith. For lemons, look for brightness. A dull yellow lemon is old. A bright, glossy yellow lemon is fresh. The oils in the skin are volatile. If the skin looks dry, the flavor oils are gone. You want the zest to be potent. That is where the medicine lies. 9th, mushrooms. Never buy mushrooms that are slimy or dark. They should be dry and firm. Look at the gills underneath the cap. They should be tight and closed. If the gills are dark brown or black and exposed, the mushroom is old and releasing spores. This makes them bitter and tough. The cap should be convex, curving downward. If the cap is flat or upturned, it is mature and past its prime. We call this opening up. An open mushroom has lost its moisture and its delicate texture. Keep them in paper, not plastic. Plastic traps moisture and creates slime. Paper allows them to breathe. Respect their need for air. 10th, herbs like cilantro, parsley, and basil. Do not buy them if they are wilted or yellowing. Look for vibrant green color. For basil, check for black spots on the leaves. This is cold damage. Basil hates the cold. If it has been refrigerated improperly, it will turn black and die quickly. For cilantro and parsley, look at the stems. They should be crisp and snap when bent. If they bend without snapping, they are limp and old. Smell them. The aroma should be strong and immediate. If you have to crush them to smell anything, they are tired. Fresh herbs are the soul of a dish. Do not accept tired souls. In a kitchen run with care, there is no such thing as garbage. This is a core belief of the plain life. What you do not eat, you use. The stems of your cilantro, blend them into a sauce. They have more flavor than the leaves. The tops of your carrots, make a pesto. The rinds of your parmesan, simmer them in your soup stock. The cores of your apples, boil them for vinegar. The peels of your citrus, candy them or dry them for tea. When you select food with care, you respect its entire life. You do not treat it as disposable. You treat it as a gift. This mindset changes how you cook. You become creative. You become resourceful. You stop seeing waste and start seeing potential. A banana that is too spotted for eating is perfect for baking. A wilting herb is perfect for infusing oil. Nothing is lost. Everything is transformed. Let us talk numbers, plainly. An average family spends hundreds of dollars a year on food that goes uneaten. If you save just $10 a week by buying correctly and using fully, that is $520 a year. That is a car payment. That is a vacation. That is security. But the return on investment is not just financial. It is qualitative. When you teach your children to select a good melon, you are teaching them patience. You are teaching them to observe. You are teaching them to value quality over quantity. In a world of instant gratification, this is a rare gift. You are giving them the ability to discern truth from appearance. You are giving them a skill that will serve them for life. The quality of your food determines the quality of your health. When you eat real, fresh, carefully selected food, you feel different. You have more energy. You think clearer. You sleep better. This is the true ROI. It is not just money saved. It is life gained. I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments what state you are in, what county, and how old your house is. I read every word. I like to know who I am speaking with. It reminds me that we are a community, scattered but connected by these old truths. If you have found value in this plain talk, please subscribe. It helps us reach others who are looking for a slower, wiser way. Next time I will share a secret that many have forgotten. I will tell you what a single cup of wood ash does to your lawn. It is not what you think. It is not just waste from the fireplace. It is a powerful tool for balancing your soil and strengthening your grass. But you must use it correctly, or you will harm what you love. Join me then, and we will uncover another piece of the old way. Until then, keep your hands busy and your mind open.